Hey, what's up? It's Kit. Time for another video. So, there's this place that I've discovered, and actually an old fishing spot that we go to. And lately, I've found that it has kind of like a pier fishing portion that I can go to, and I miss fishing that way. So it's the type of fishing that I used to do with my dad, and yeah, I miss it a lot. So I just figured like, hey, you know what? I'm gonna bust out some of the rods and go fishing there. And one of the rods that actually imported some time ago was it's a cheap. I've tried importing it twice, and the first time it was broken, had to return it. The second time it was broken again, but this time it was packed right and it was still broken. So I got a refund, and they actually asked me to just keep the rod. So it's a cheap rod, okay? But it has a feature that would be probably very interesting to a lot of people. Now, I need this to do something, so bear with me here. Now, this rod is by no means, like I said, it's not expensive, okay? And it's one of those that I just happen to kind of like, and I wanted at least one that I would be able to use here. Okay, so let me just take this off top. I use my old school Pen 525 mag on this one, okay? And this is still US made. Quite a very good reel. What I did to make it even better is to actually make the bearings, change the bearings. So this is the rod, okay? So you can see there, okay? Quite a long one. This is actually 14 feet. It's heavy. It's cheap. It's quite heavy. Anyway, so here's the feature that I said was actually pretty good. So if you want your reel seat in any position, you could just basically move it. Okay, now it's a cheap thing. Okay, what happened here is that normally you just tighten it, and then it kind of presses things down, and then that's it. The problem with this one is that it wouldn't, especially with this reel. I put it on even with other reels. So this is what I've done. I bought like a pack of hose clamps, and normally there's this thing they call coasters that you could use. So a hose clamp I put on there because with a hose clamp, what you could do is actually just tighten it. Okay, so I bought like a bunch. The problem with this is that when you're doing stuff like this, what happens is that there are times when it's not as precise as you want it to be. So with this particular one, what I really wanted to do was to actually buy the coasters, but it's gonna take so long. So hose clamps, and then installed them here, worked really well. Okay, now my problem now is that I actually want a bit more, shall we say, compactness, because the one that I presently have here works, but it's kind of too big, and I want it to be a bit more low profile. So the thing with hose clamps is that you can literally take them out. With the coasters, you can't. Okay, so I am basically doing this here. Okay, as you can see there. Now let's take the big one off for now. See if we can install the smaller one. Okay, so here's the big one. I am going to bring you guys in so that you can see exactly what I'm doing, okay? There we go. All right, so very first thing is we have to determine the length here. Okay, what I want is for that to be that distance. Okay, I am not going to see here this flap right here. This is what presses on the blank to make it tight. So what I want to do is to just put it there like so, and as you can see, that's perfect. Then we can just tighten it up a bit. Okay, and then we have to take our reel, put it on like so. Okay, and then you can see that the band actually just goes on the reel foot right there, and I want there. That's it. That's perfect actually. All right, so I'm gonna flip this over like so, and we're gonna tighten. Okay, this is working out better than expected. Okay, so I'm gonna tighten this thing up. Like so. And when you tighten this up, what happens is that it presses against the flap and bites onto the what's that? Blank. So now all I have to do is just secure this like so, and that's not going anywhere. Plus, you see that I kind of have like a trigger there that I can put my hand on. Okay, and that's perfect. That size is way better than this big one, and I have a lot of hose clamps that I could use around the house and even in the car. Now the biggest problem I had with the hose clamps was the fact that it was actually very difficult to find stainless steel ones, and I wasn't too sure exactly of the size. So going on Amazon and actually seeing that I can get a pack locally with a range of sizes was a very, very good thing. And that stuff was new because before that I didn't see it, and I've been actually looking for this for at least a year. So yeah, quite happy that that's finally sorted. And I'm also very happy that I didn't buy the coasters. Okay, so right now I'm just okay, just measuring. See, it was longer because I put it on here, and it kind of interfered with the swing. So now that it's placed shorter, it's kind of the same distance as my South African rods. But this rod is so heavy, and the thing is also, I don't want to hold this while I'm fishing it. It's gonna be on a rod holder, on a tripod basically. So it's just gonna chill on a tripod. And you know what? It's perfectly fine if it's used like that. This is a 14-foot rod, and it can basically it can carry up to, or it can cast up to 7 ounces. So kind of, yeah, 5 to 7 ounce is the range of this. So it's no slouch. Chinese, made in China, really good, but intended for the UK market. So, uh, believe it or not, something as cheap as this, and I think this was under £100 without shipping. But something like this, actually, the build quality is pretty decent. This is from Sonic. The brand is Sonic, right there, and yeah, it's real heavy, and it's meant for their style of fishing, and pairs up with a reel like this or a Daiwa, the slosh. You could also put like a 7HT on this from Daiwa. It's a it's basically a rod that you could use when the bottom isn't it's sandy, or when it's kind of have rocks and stuff, what they call rough ground. But yeah, I mean, I'm actually very excited to use this, and I just thought that I'd share it with you guys because the sliding reel seat is actually quite unique. Now, this is very common in the UK, and in the States, they've actually introduced, or Shimano actually tried to introduce this, and it didn't catch on. It was in the first generation of the Tiralejo surf rods that Shimano sold, and now, you know, although they're still available, but surf fishing with overheads in the States is actually on the decline. Pretty much everywhere on Earth, actually. Surf fishing with conventional reels is actually on the decline. It's just because spinning is just so easy to use. And by the way, this rod is configured to be used for both. So another thing with UK style um, surf fishing rods is that there are hybrids that are designed for both spinning and bait cast, sorry, conventional and spinning. Although I really like using conventionals for casting, and I'm actually moving towards that direction even with our offshore casting. So watch out for that video and for those trips. But yeah, I'm quite happy that this is finally fixed, and see, it's sturdy unlike before, and as a bonus, it's kind of like I have a trigger here that'll help me with the casting. Alrighty, that's it for now. Thanks so much for watching. If you have questions, drop them in the comment section. If you found this interesting, give it a thumbs up. And if you haven't yet, click on the subscribe. More of these and fishing videos pretty soon. Righty, and if you want to help this channel move forward, click on the membership button, and that's it for this video. I'll see you in the next one. Class dismissed.